So let's recap how the Bucks did. You and Foobz can go back and forth as you both are Bucks fans, so you may as well.
They did not do well this week. They did not do well at all. And I think it's time, and I don't know if Andrew's heard me say this or not, but it's time for maybe looking at a new offensive coordinator. I don't think Leftwich is doing a very good job. Ben Cornett agrees with me. We talked about it. And I think the play calling has been horrible. We have all this talent. We have all these great receivers. We have Leonard Fournette as our running back, Tom Brady as our quarterback, and I see nothing good. Nothing good coming out of Leftwich's playbook. So that my take is that the Buccaneers need to look maybe elsewhere. I don't know if Todd Bowles and him need to have a very big, huge come to Jesus meeting. If they come to Jesus this week and figure out what to do differently, but I don't think he's doing very well. Oh, thanks, Johnny Dean. But yeah, something's not right. The chemistry's not right. They're not clicking on the cylinders that they should be to try to go for another Super Bowl run. I don't see them going to the playoffs anymore like I did at the beginning of the season if this team keeps imploding and things keep happening. And I'm not loving it. I'm not liking it. It's really frustrating for me as a Bucs fan. And big changes need to happen or our season is down the tubes.
So do you think with that being said, I know you mentioned Brian Leftwich, which I definitely can agree on, but do you think it's more so that he's taking more charge of the offensive plays, or do you think maybe the team's a little bit sick after missing, Bruce Arians and that closer of a role? Do you know what I mean? Do you think that factors into it a little bit?
I think Arians not being the coach is a big deal to a lot of those players that were close to him and liked his leadership and liked his style of coaching. And I don't know if Bowles being in his first year as head coach needs to maybe go and say, Bruce, I need some advice. I need some help with what's going on here. Why are we gelling? Why isn't this happening? I know we have some injuries. I know our offensive line's been banged up. I know we're missing Kyle Rudolph, our tight end, but that makes no excuse for why we're playing the way we're playing.
Rate's been good, though.
You have to step up when times are tough. You have to step up. And if our team isn't going to step up and play well, and if Leftwich's playbook is rusty and needs some revamping and some relooking at, because let's just face it, every year the NFL changes, style of play changes, and you need to adapt. You need to come up with something new and original. And I'm not seeing it. And I think a lot of other teams know our playbook enough to defend it and to be a thorn in our side. So I don't know. I don't know what Andrew has to say, but my thought is a lot has to start with Byron and his playbook and his originality and what he's doing for the Bucs, because we have a hell of a defense, but not an offense. And that's my feeling.
No, that's fair. That's very valid. What do you think, Foobz? Like, what do you have to take on that?
I'm on both parts of it where I do think that we need to do something in order to kind of save the season, but I'm also on the part of like the relax side of it, because the Bucs were I think it was 7-5 going into the bye week of our Super Bowl season, and that's what really, after that, when we won the 4 straight, is what really finally put us in to win that Super Bowl. And everybody started to be like, oh, that's the Buccaneers. NFL is the NFL, and it always will be the NFL. After 3 games, if the Jets win another one, are we saying that the Jets are the best team in the NFL? No, right? But everybody's going to start hopping on some of those narratives. So I agree that the Buccaneers need to do something. I understand that Byron Leftwich is the big problem. I'm more on the Todd Bowles thing. I've said it on the beginning of the NSD show and the Maple Buck show at the beginning of the season, where his demeanor, just the way that he coaches, for me, it's not the right, proper way to coach this squad. Arians is essentially what got those guys going. He tore his ACL. He yelled when it needed to. And he was also a guy's guy.
Well, look at his portfolio, right?
Exactly. And so Bowles was good with the Jets when he actually had a team there and they were healthy respectively. But we all know what collectively happened is not that many people hoorah'd around Todd Bowles. And that's what I think is adding more to this right now, is because nobody can hoorah and get around Brady right now because of his outside problems. And nobody can hoorah around Todd Bowles right now. So who the heck is going to be the guy that steps up and leads it? Marpet's gone. He was another guy that did it. So there's a lot of different holes in there. And Devin White and some of these other guys are living off of the Super Bowl 2 years ago. That I agree with.
Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's interesting to see. Nick kind of touches on it too, and I was going to touch on that a little bit later too. It's a tough thing to see, Tom Brady lose it on his O-line. Like, you can kind of like take that from two different angles, in my opinion. You could take it as like, okay, Tom's losing his, he's losing his cool, he's losing his temper, he's getting frustrated, he's getting pissed off. But in all actuality, he's also captain too, so he's also got to lead an example, and he's got to kind of tell people when they need to step up too. So, there's both sides to that statement, to be quite honest with you. Like, is he justified at yelling at his line? I think it's a 50-50.
Always.
You can take it as either way, right? I don't know. Like, there's an argument to be said that, you need to like tell people to kind of work harder. And there's an argument that, you can say that, all right, you know what, take a step back, Tom, calm down, take a breath. We're noticing that you've been angry, like up to this point, quite more than you usually have been. With right, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's a different face for Tom Brady, not one that I guess we're all used to seeing, right? But yeah, that's we'll see kind of what happens. The Bucs still have their schedule isn't super brutal coming up. They do have a little bit of kind of I guess you could say relax in a very loose term, because I know definitely, in terms of what people were saying for records and so on and so forth, it's definitely not going the way that people thought for the Bucs right off the bat. But that's not saying, you're absolutely right. When they had their Super Bowl run, they were a wild card, and they were, not many teams have went and done that off of a wild card berth. Now, are we going to say that that's going to happen again? I don't know. It's a different team. Definitely a different team for sure. So I wouldn't try and bank on that. But the season is not over. We're only a third through. So, take it as you will. But Nicole, what about your Saints? Let's talk about it.
Oh, the Saints.
Oh boy.
Well, it was 30-26. I did say that it was going to be 30-34 for us, but we were a little bit of points away. We went up against
had that game.
We went up against the Bengals, yeah. But there was one point where I do have to give it to Burrows, where he was, they were 3rd and 8, and they were on the 19-yard line, and we thought we got Burrows sacked. The pocket was deflating, and he somehow manages to slip out and then get a touchdown. So it was, they were, it was at 17-7 that happened. And I feel like that's when I felt a little bit more confidence come into Burrow's plays. And our defense, I have a long list of defense things that we'll probably get into later on. But we played also too without our top 3 receivers, Thomas, Olave, and Landry. So that was really, really hard. But Shaheed, the rookie, for his first game, went out and got us a touchdown, which was looking really good. So we had some second half drives that got 15 minutes away from Burrow, which I thought was really great. But it's still not enough. We had a lot of rushing yards.
That Shaheed guy, was that the gentleman that got that like 62-yard run?
Yeah, 44 yards.
Or
yeah,
whatever it was. That was
game.
really good. That was a really nice run.
Yeah, so I'm happy we have him, and I hope for him to be stepping up to plate, as I know coming in, we still have some injuries to deal with. So, I think he looks good on the field. But other than that, we had 1 touchdown in 4 red zone trips. So we I feel like in the red zone, we weren't able just to complete those into touchdowns. So I think that's what's got us, is the red zone and our defense.
Fair. Yeah, no, it was a close game. I thought you guys might have pulled through for that one for sure.
They almost did. That's the thing. Like, the guy who led that team for so long literally was like, I'm just gonna show up with the Saints and I'm gonna beat them, kind of thing. And it was that freaking close, in my opinion. I actually caught myself rooting. I'm like, you know what? At this point, effing do it. Like, just beat the Bengals at this point. Like, I want the Saints. If they're gonna have the redheaded rocket under center, that's just my opinion. And since Nicole is my my new co-host and stuff like that, I've kind of looked at this team a little bit more, and I'm like, you take Jameis Winston out of it, I don't mind the team as itself.
Yeah.
Like,
Olave is back, JD. He'll be playing next game.
Yeah.
Well, you know who I love and who won that game. So, Nicole, do you know my love for Burrow yet?
I know that you do like them. I actually I bought randomly some sweatpants of some Cincinnati stuff for some reason, which I think is a bad omen. But
I'm sorry your team lost, but I'm happy for my Mr. Smoky Smooth. That's my nickname for him. And I love my Jamar, and I love my T, and I love my boys. They're my other team.
There were several times we could have got Burrows, but I was like, bury him. And they're like, he's one called Burrows because he's just down and goes out.
Good.
Yeah. He's very good at maneuvering out of the pocket and getting the yardage or the receiver he needs.
Yeah.
But he did it at LSU, so.
Yeah,
and I love that he showed up in Jamar Chase's national championship LSU jersey. That was pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, I did see that. He was signing autographs before the game.
Yeah. So I'm sorry for your loss, but I was happy for my other favorite quarterback in the league other than Brady.
Foobz, I know you got to run and stuff, but tell us quickly where we can find you. Thanks for popping in quick, man. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Like, I wanted to give quick shout out to the Falcons, who before the season even started, I said, and I quote, you give it 2 more drafts, and this team is going to be something not to be effed with. And they're already showing with some of the talent that they got on there that they're not something to be effed with. So
that's promise for your Falcons there, Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm going to go right into it.
I wanted to give shout out to that. I want to give shout out to the Carolina Panthers for inevitably getting rid of every talent that they have. So we get an extra 2 wins for the next 3 seasons.
Yep.
And we get to just pick off your quarterback, whichever one you decide.
Man, that team's imploding.
Oh, yeah. Man. And also shout out to the Saints, because literally, like I just said, I found myself turning the TV on being like, you're winning against the Bengals. Go on, you have my attention. So yeah, of course you can find me at NSD every Friday night, live 7:00 Mountain Time, 9:00 Eastern Time for all you East Coasterners. I'm on doing the Maple Bucks show on Sundays, and now I am going to go talk hockey. So when all y'all are done here talking football and talking the NFC South, if you want to go talk about your Oilers, you want to go talk about your Red Wings, you want to go talk about your Flames, and how shitty every single one of those teams are except for the Red Wings, you can come hear about it.
I would love to always talk Red Wings with you.
Yeah. So you can come join me on the I can't even remember what the heck it's called now because I'm so excited. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to talk to you guys later. Go Red Wings because we rule. Eldest Adam is my daddy. Love you all. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, kind of go tie into what he was saying too with, I guess, the Falcons this week. So I wrote a little thing down too. So fun fact, at this very point 3 years ago, Marcus Mariota was benched by the Tennessee Titans, if you guys didn't know.
I remember that.
Yeah, so quite the turn of events. The Falcons went against the powerhouse, currently top-ranked defense in the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers. Marcus Mariota had a day. He had a completion rate of 13 out of 14 completions, only having 1 incompletion, which is his final throw at the end of the game. He finished with 129 passing yards and rushed for 50 yards for 6 carries. It was a really, really fun day to watch the Falcons go against a really, really good team. Currently, after this game, we're ranked 3rd overall in rushing yards, which has not been done since 2016 for our team, which we were ranked, I believe, 5th at that point. So, the Falcons absolutely dominated the 49ers 28-14. On both sides of the ball, and Kyle Pitts got his first touchdown, so that's awesome.
That is good.
Yeah, you know what, I might be overreacting, but now that I've kind of seen more or less what the Falcons have been doing, this is going to be bold. I think Falcons are going to win the division, and I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close, But the fact is if you look at the Saints, you look at the Bucks, and even if you look at the Panthers for that matter, they have stacked players on each side of the ball. They have stacked players on offense. They have stacked players on defense. The Saints have for a long, long period of time, but the Falcons don't. And that's the difference here, is the Falcons have a very, very young defense. And they're pulling together, which is pretty surprising, which the only really notable name is Grady Jarrett, and then as well maybe Arnold Ebiketie. But, it's really something amazing to watch. I always like a real tight division. I've said this before in previous episodes, obviously, right? But it's unreal. And if they keep going the way that they're going, hopefully, fingers crossed, slowly they're going to start to improve more and more and more. So I don't know. I'm hopeful. And anything could happen. Don't get me wrong. I can eat my words and we could lose the rest of the season. I don't know. I hope to God not. But yeah, they're playing complete football, which is something that we haven't seen for a really, really long time. So it's a good time to be a fan. To answer Johnny D's question, will that be Pitt's 1 TD for the season? No. I think he'll get more. I don't think he's gonna have the blowout year that everybody's anticipating, where like he'll score 10 touchdowns per se. I'll see him getting at least probably a couple more. If I'm guessing, I think we'll get about 4 from him this season. But that's my take. You feel free to chime in, Nicole. Feel free to chime in, Kate.
I have very high doubts about you guys becoming. It's a long road, my friend. Okay, we got November and we got December. Winter is coming. Okay, just you wait. We're gonna. I don't know. I know you guys are strong, but I still think that there are some other strong teams that you'll be going against. And don't count us out.
No, we don't play you for a bit. We don't. But
I know. Yeah, you were talking about how he's a college guy, Mariota, right? And
yeah,
I actually,
Oregon.
For the first time, I ended up going and watching a highlight reel of the game, and I would just have what you guys do. Got some really nice long, good passes that are solid. You guys aren't showing much cracks in your foundation, but I bet you have a few, and we'll be finding them out, just like a path of water dripping through creates a canyon of gaps, my friend. So I don't know. That's what I got. I mean, I'm happy that you guys are winning, but I think we'll see about our next week predictions about that.
No, that's fair.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.